Hello everyone, welcome to Bonsai Expression. I'm Christoph, and today, as you can see, the sun's cracking the flags. I've even got the tropicals outside. Just look at them. The garden looks full. Hey! Anyway, I brought them out, give them a bit of sun, get them some water as well, maybe even a little bit of feed. Anyway, we're here, we're bringing them out because the sun is obviously cracking the flags, but it's not too intense, which means we can get them time to acclimatise to the nice sunshine weather before summer hits. If we don't get them out, acclimatise them a little bit, they're going to burn when we do bring them out, when that heat is intense. So now's the time to start doing that. The sun is out, let's give them a bit of sunshine. Anyway, you're not here because of that, you're here because my little Japanese forest is pushing them buds. Look at that. And now is the time to get this lovely little forest in a bigger pot. I'm just going to go from this pond basket into a slightly larger one. Okay, it is a little bit larger than slightly larger. And I'm going to spread them out, and I'm going to give them the room they deserve, they need. And I'm going to put them in the correct spacing, because obviously these need moving. This branch needs moving, or this tree needs moving. This is the front. It's already got the nice position, the nice sections. The trees just need moving slightly to give it the proper forest look it needs. It's just not quite there. Some of the trees are interfering, but when we repot this, we replant it in the right sections that it needs to go in, and then the forest is pretty much complete. We just sit back, we do a snip here, a snip there, as we usually do, and the forest will come naturally just by a little bit of maintenance. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I mean, just look at it. It looks really nice as it is. There we go. So we're going to go put it on the bench today, give you a quick spin, and then we're going to get it out of this pot. I got a feeling the roots are coming out. I've got a feeling that the roots are probably going to be meshed. So I might have to just maybe snip the roots away, force a couple of these trees outwards, and then reposition them, and then let them mesh again, and let them grow and develop. Not really much to this one. So let's get involved. Let's get into this one today. So come join me over on the bench. Just over there. Now, to do this repot, I have gone ahead, used my other phone and taken a picture of the front of my tree, so I know as a basis what I'm working with. So I'm just going to put that to one side so I can see exactly where I'm going with this tree, because I've also got a marker, but obviously that marker I'm going to be losing. So let's go ahead and try and take this whole tree, this whole section, this whole planting even, out. Now, it might be a bit of a difficult challenge, because with it being a forest and I've got all this section at the bottom, I need to come across and take all these roots out. So I'm just going to try and rake all the roots off, and obviously this is tearing the roots, so I'm just taking all these out. And I'm going to try and just slide the whole section out by pushing the whole planting upwards in the pot. There we go. And that just removes in one section. So there we go. I'm going to put that to one side. I'm going to try and keep my front stable in line with me. So that is the front there. That's my front tree. This tree itself needs removing and it needs repositioning. So I'm going to go ahead and try and take this one out first. So I am going to try and rake it out. This one here, it actually needs moving over. So if I can just come in and take this one out, that would be perfect, ideal. So again, as always, we're going to come in and rake this whole system out radially. See if we can just come in, being as gentle as I can. Now, I'm always going to refer back to my other phone for the picture. Now again, we're going to have some sort of trouble in here. These roots are going to have meshed. So I'm just going to go in with the other side of my root rake. I'm just going to try and wiggle these, wiggle my tool in between. See if I can just work my way in and get this tree out. So far, it's coming away nicely. Look at this. Got this one root here. That's just hanging on. It's literally hanging on by a thread. Now if I just pull a little bit, and there we go. So the tree's there. The root system is nice and intact. I'm just going to try and untangle it a little bit because I don't want the roots wrapping round. So if I just rake downwards, see if we can get these roots to untangle a little bit. I'm going to try and keep these trees from wrapping the roots round. So in the future, we can keep them from strangling themselves. Just so I've got one root there that goes up and round, and then a root there as well that comes up. So this root itself goes up. I'm just going to come in and take that off. Just like that. Bit of mud, see if we just scrape that clean, break these downwards, see if we can just untangle them a little bit. So it looks like the root system is quite nice. So this root just comes round on itself. I am just going to take this one off. It's a big root that comes round. If I leave it on, it will just wrap around the tree in the future. So overall, it's got a good nice root system. I've got another one that just goes up a little bit. I'm just going to come in, take that back as well. And then I've got another little one that just pops up again. Let's just take that back. And then I've got a tiny little one there again. It goes up, just take that back. I'm just going to give these a wash so we can have a better look at it. As you can see, this has got a tap root. I'm just going to bring these tap roots back just to here. And I'm going to snip the bottom off as well. So we're just going to reduce that tap root. I'm quite happy with everything else that's developing. Again, we're not developing these trees as single tree roots. So we're not going for a radial root system. So the tree roots don't have to be spectacular by any means necessary. These roots, they are going, we're after a good root system, a healthy root system for the trees. They don't need to be radial, remember that, but we need a good healthy system to keep the tree alive. It's going to be a forest, they're all going to mesh together. So that's that one, and then this tree is going to be positioned over here. So we're just going to move this one over and put that one there when we move the whole tree planting over. just to keep the camera. Whoops. So let's just move them out of the way. I'm going to get this tree, I'm just going to put it over to one side. Now I know you can't quite see, but I've got the basket here, so I'm going to try and transfer all my trees over to the basket in one sort of swoop, and then as I do that I can rearrange the whole trees in one go. It's going to be a bit of a tricky operation, so I've got me, if I show you, I've got a picture here, the trees there, and then the basket there. So bit of a tricky operation, but when I've got it in, I will then just adjust as we go along. So hopefully I won't have too much adjusting to do, and I can just get all these in one go. So I've got them out of the original pot. I've separated them all, and a lot of the roots are pretty much like this. I've got them all out, and quite a bit of them are tangled and, well, like this, all messed up. And a couple of them had quite deep tap roots. Now I'm not too concerned about the tap roots, but a lot of them had big, thick, gnarly ones that were just big, chunky ones, and then they were going upwards. So I had to take a bit of that off. But in concerns of how the length of them like this, and then the tap roots, I took a little nip here. I put like the likes of this one, not really too much of an issue. I'm just going to plant it up and then let them grow and mesh in. No issues with that. In terms of this, you can see here, let me just get my spinny wheel. So I'm just going to slide that under. Then you can see I've already planted in the larger trees at the front, dead focused at the front there. Big one right at the front, and then I've got the two next larger ones either side, just at the front and center, just on the left and right, pretty close to them. So let me fill it up a little bit more, make them a little bit more stable, keep them in a bit. Then I've got these just dangling around. I've got my phone here, as you can see, trying to go against this as much as I can, but I am making a little bit of decisions just to tweak it slightly. So I've got these ones here and here. Now I think they're in the wrong position because obviously the height wise, so that one's got to go there, and I think this one's got to go more towards back. This little one on the side is got to go further backwards, just there, and then this larger one here that I've got, these have got to go further towards the side. I've planted these ones in, but I've got to just make sure they're in the right sort of areas. I've got to gently and carefully look at the height wise of all of these trees. They are pretty similar, but some of them are thicker than others, and some of them are obviously a lot skinnier. So this skinny one is the furthest back, so that one there is around about here. This one is the furthest back, so it's going there. This one probably next furthest back here in this sort of shape. And again, they were conical, so I need to try and keep that flow again. So I need to look to see which one was which. So that I think was there, that one there, this one probably further in. So I think that's the sort of shape we're going for. So they're in that way. And again, I've got to make sure that they're all in the conical. So again, conical wise, smallest, although they are like that, I've also got to go like that as well. So biggest in the middle, smallest on the outside. So biggest there, to the smallest there. So I think we're looking that way. So smallest there. I think we're going to go like this. There. Overall the planting's good. I just feel like I need to adjust some of these trees slightly. So I had these two trees as the main ones. I think this tree and this tree needs to be adjusted, so just alter that one up to there, bring this over this way. No, I like to keep that there. I like these three right focal in the center. It's this one here I don't think I like. Bring this one forward. They're much better. So this one needs bringing over here, I think. I think I'm gonna go for there and there for those last two. Positioning wise, I have slightly altered the position of the whole composition, but I think I like that better, but in a different better. It's not so much conical now. I probably have to do a redesign, but I've got the three loud and proud, and I've got them tailing off at the back. It does give a sense of depth. To be honest, I think this middle one probably I think this one needs probably going in the middle. Sense of everything is grown around it. So I'm just going to take that one out, and I'm going to put that one there. So now my trees have grown around this one. Okay, so I finished it up and I ended up going for a completely different angle yet again and rearranged the trees. So this is the finished angle. As you can see, got the big one in the middle. I moved the bigger ones to slightly off the side and then rearranged the smaller ones. So that is how we're going to finish off the planting. I ended up with the front here directly on diagonal. And then I'm going to, once I've watered in, I'm just going to pop on a little statue just to give me something different on a little angle, just so I know where everything is. So I'm going to water that in and we're going to have a look at it, see what it looks like. So I hope you like this one. It's all watered in, so this is what it looks like. As I say, I've got a nice little piece there just to give it a little something, but now it looks a hell of a lot better. It's got plenty of room to grow, and I think it looks, well, it looks really nice now. Everything's positioned correctly, and the forest can just be left alone, semi-shade, to do its thing. So the Japanese Larch Forest is now all set and done. Just look at it. It looks really cool, and I've got this little pagoda reef thingy, not even sure what you call them, but it sets it off nicely as well. So we've got it in a nice deep pot, allow the roots to mesh, establish and grow wild. Some of the roots on these individual trees weren't the greatest, but it doesn't really matter. I've done a little prune on them, nothing major, just neatened them up, tidied them. The tap roots that were on them, I give a little tiny trim on them as well, just allow them to establish and grow, make sure they're they're not going to strangle themselves or anything like that, because there was one or two that was starting to wrap around, so just neaten them up. As I say, we've got a nice big deep pot, so they can go down, they can mesh, and then when we come in later on, we can come in, just chop half of that root ball off and get it in a nice, better pot suited for bonsai. We'll allow the top just to grow freely, and then we'll come back later on in the summer, early summer. Once everything's shot out, we'll come in, trim it up, and make sure everything's just going okay with it. Anyway, if you like this one, please do give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. Now, see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, everyone.